Right, so I'm back here with the Cube i9, and these are some of my early findings, benchmarks that I'm going to go through here. So this is the iStorm 1.2 score. Now this is quite a good score, but if you think about the Surface Pro 4 M3 that I had, that got 40,000, so this is a good 5,000 points slower. Now why that is, I don't really know, but it could be down to the fact that, or what I think it is Microsoft optimization, but more probably the thermals. That's probably got a lot to do with that, because Microsoft, while it doesn't have a fan in there in the M3 model, there is a large transfer pipe in there, two of them I think still, and a copper plate, so that's probably got something to do with that. And I was keeping an eye on the thermals from all the benchmarks that you're about to see and watching them closely. So we did get some power limit throttling that popped up a few times. Around 80% you can see here was the maximum that we actually got. So I just try and get the light. There we go. Now you can see the screen a little better. And the maximum temperatures, it also peaked up at 88 degrees. I mean, this is a fanless tablet, so that is expected it's going to get a little warm. Now my Surface Pro with the same chipset in it, the M3, didn't get that hot, again because I think of the copper heat pipes and solution that Microsoft have used in that. And if I move over now to HW Info just to focus on that, you can see that 87%, 87 degrees, sorry, not percent, is the hottest it got up to. And continual gaming, I imagine this is going to reach 90 or so. So it does get hot internally. Now touching the actual physical tablet around the back of it, it doesn't really get scorching hot or anything like that. It gets quite warm, and I imagine, yeah, gaming for long periods, then it probably will heat up quite nicely. But I will keep an eye on that. Later I'll get my thermal probe out and have a look at that after some gaming, which won't be in this video. That'll be in another video. I'll do some gaming tests, test out a few games. Alright, so back to the benchmarks that I did run. So that's the PC Mark score. Not too bad. Skydiver. Now CloudGate. An Atom CPU, the X5 gets around 1,300, and I think the X7 gets 1,500 or so. So, you know, it is definitely a lot faster than any Atom tablet, and the fact we do have a full SSD in there as well helps out. iStorm Extreme score. Now the network speeds are quite good. Now this is on the same floor as my wireless router. My desktop gets 50 megabits download, and it got 25 upload. So this actually got even higher for some reason. Don't know why. It just might have been the network traffic at the time or something. But yeah, very good result there. No complaints. The only complaint being, well, it's only wireless in. We don't have dual band on there. And here is the Geekbench 3 score. This is about 150 points less than the Surface Pro 4 with the 6Y30 Core M in it. So slightly lower there. Now I did also benchmark the internal SSD drive, and it's okay. You'll see the speeds, I mean, nothing wonderful. Read speeds are good. The writes are quite low because it's, well, it's a 4C brand. It's not a super fast drive there, but the 4K writes are okay. So yeah, it's definitely a little slower than the more premium laptops that you pay, of course, a lot more for. But all in all, Windows boots up fast. Everything seems really nice and responsive. Performance-wise, very quick and snappy compared to an Atom. Now, I haven't had enough time on. I've only had this literally for about a day now, 12 hours or more than that actually. Yeah, almost a day with the tablet. So I've been benchmarking around this, which isn't a good gauge on battery life. I'm looking around 4.5 to 5 hours battery life, which isn't really wonderful. But again, I have been benchmarking, which I wouldn't consider normal use. If you're going to be benchmarking or gaming or something like that, then yeah, you're only going to get 4 hours out of it, I think, with that kind of use there. The USB 3 port is working just fine. I can power my external hard drives. I'm getting full USB 3 speeds out of it, which is good. There is, however, a problem with the micro SD card slot. It has trouble detecting at the moment. I have a 16 gigabyte micro SD card that is working, which I have with me. And this 64-bit one that I've got, which is a Samsung Evo, doesn't work. Now I have another 64 gigabyte one that's currently in my Galaxy S7. That also wouldn't load up unless you reboot the tablet. So there's something funny going on either with the drivers, or then we need a BIOS update for stability of the reader. But if I insert now my 16 gigabyte one, boom, now it's going to work. It works for some reason. So it's having trouble with the larger size SD cards. There is another user on the forum that has a 128 gigabyte card that's doing the same thing. So there's a problem there. The only other negative that I've found so far is sometimes when I'm charging the tablet, I've noticed coming out of the left speaker right here, there's a bit of static. So you hear a slight buzz coming through, but not all the time, just now and then. So there's some interference from when it's charging that's affecting the speaker, perhaps because maybe the speaker cables are going too close to where the power is being routed through there, and that is interfering with it. I don't really know, but that's the only negatives there, really. What else can I say so far that I've seen? That the BIOS is fully unlocked, and I mean fully unlocked. There's settings in there you can adjust and change every single thing. If you guys want to see that, I can do a screen capture, hopefully go through the BIOS and show you all the different settings there. But you can do everything there, even an overclocking menu now, which I wouldn't touch anything in the BIOS, because you can risk like bricking the BIOS. It will freeze up, so it won't boot the tablet properly, and you could run into trouble. So I wouldn't recommend touching anything there. Now the speakers on it are actually quite loud. I will show you now. They're a lot better than what I imagined they would have been, because Cube speakers and some of the older tablets have been slightly disappointing. These ones have a little bit more power to them. So I'm just going to play a track here. There's zero bass to the speakers, but okay, hopefully that's not going to give me any copyright problems. But they're okay, the speakers. I have definitely heard a hell of a lot worse. I have heard better, but those aren't bad at all. I think, considering the price range, they're alright. They're loud enough, very little bass, but there's some mid-range there and treble, so they're tinny speakers. Alright, before I run out of battery, just wanted to quickly go over some of the hubs that I've been testing out on this, the Type-C hubs. So we have, these are the ones I got from Banggood. We have this USB 2 one that works, that will allow you to connect up and charge, but it's only USB 2 speeds. Now the USB 3 one that I bought, that will give me two USB 3 ports. It will power an external hard drive, but for some reason doesn't allow me to charge when I plug it in. Now the charger I have is only 12 volts and about 1.5 amps or something, so it's not actually sufficient enough output to be charging the tablet properly, and I don't know whether the cable's actually designed to handle that current there. But the other one too, HDMI out, this does work. This allows me to output at least to the maximum resolution of my monitor, which is 1440p at 60 Hz. In theory, you should be able to get 4K. I'm pretty sure that it can do 4K, the Core M, so it should be able to do that. But you might need a display port adapter for that. I'm not really too sure. I don't have a 4K monitor, unfortunately, to test that out fully. And finally, the one that I like the most, which is just like the Apple multi-port ones you get. There's various generic brands on the internet of this same one. So look for the blue USB 3 port, has HDMI out. Everything is working, but there's a bit of a catch with this one. and that is trying to charge the tablet. Again, charger problems, I need to find a good one. It will start to charge it, but when I try to plug in a hard drive, external hard drive, it will turn off the whole hub. So right now it's just beeped. It's going to start charging it slowly, but it's not going to have enough juice in there. It's not outputting enough to actually be able to charge the tablet properly. Flash drives will work in it, but my hard drive, when I connect it, no. So I think it's a voltage problem. So it's not getting enough power to the ports and not outputting enough power from that USB port to actually power the 1 terabyte drive. So once I can find a better charger, ideally then I will have a single docking station solution with this, because you could in theory put an external keyboard wireless receiver in here, have that connected up to your monitor, and then have that powered in, so you can come along with the tablet, plug it in, and then run it like a desktop, which is what I would like to do with this one personally. So that's all I can really show you at this moment. I'm still downloading and installing various games that I want to test out. Apart from those two problems that I've pointed out, the slight noise on the speaker and the micro SD card problem there, everything else is going smoothly. I'm happy with the screen brightness. The screen is very responsive. The system's responsive. Thermals maybe a little hotter than I expected, but it really depends on what Cube's used there when it comes to thermals. They might have just gone along and used what they did with the i7. They just put a bit of an aluminium heat spreader on top of the chipset, then use thermal pads to transfer heat away from that onto the back of the metal shell of the tablet. So that could account to some of those higher temperatures there. Possibly that could be fixed by opening it up, having a look, putting maybe some copper heat sinks around there and using better thermal pads. I don't know if I will go as far as opening this one up just yet. Maybe later on if I decide that this is a keeper for me personally. The other thing too is cameras. You know, they're not that good at all. They're average. The front 2 megapixel camera has a bit of a strange crop to it, but it's usable in good light. But if you're in low lighting, those cameras really, I think, are going to be a bit of a problem. They just tend to get a little bit grainy in that. So you have to bear that in mind, that when it comes to some components, Cube have cut costs, and you know, it is a cheaper Chinese tablet, so they have to cut corners somewhere, and yeah, the cameras is the one that suffer. But overall, I mean, things are going fine. This is just an initial first day really with the tablet, so if anything else crops up, any other problems that I notice, or if it suddenly just powers off or gets too hot, I will mention that in the full review. Okay, so if you're interested in seeing more on this particular model, just keep an eye on the playlist, and I will have more up-and-coming videos on this one here, as well as some gaming, which hopefully I'll have in 12 or 24 hours time. I'll have some gaming on this model up as well there. Thank you for watching. See you later.